Hi everyone, this is Linda from Food Focus, and we just wanted to take a few minutes of your time this Monday morning to give you a little bit of motivation, and that's why this video series is called #Monday Motivation. Who do we want to motivate? We want to motivate all of you that are our colleagues in the food industry that are hard at work. As you can see, I'm working from home in the safety of my home because of lockdown. But for those of you out there that are continuing to make food for us, you're taking your lives into your hands every day by going to work and by doing the things that you normally do in order to make sure that we can eat. And for that, we are thoroughly grateful. And we want to say #thank you for our food. But we also wanted to take an opportunity just to give you a little bit of motivation. I have some very special guests with me today. I have Jompie Burger from the Dairy Standard Agency. I have Peter Gordon from the South African Meat Processors Association, and I have Geoff Penny from the South African Chamber of Milling and Baking. And we're very, very grateful that they could join us for this webinar so that we can just share with those particular sectors some encouragement and some inspiration for you to continue to do the good work that you have been doing over the last few weeks that we've all been in this very, very unusual situation. I'm going to now hand over to Jompie.
Hi Linda. Yes, as many people already know, the Dairy Standard Agency is a self-regulatory initiative of the organised dairy industry, and our primary goal is to basically promote the improvement of quality and safety and metrology standards across the dairy discipline and compliance, obviously, with legal requirements. That is the key. Now, obviously, how we do that is through our mandate, where we do a lot of monitoring activities on a national level. And then also we interpret, and through our own laboratory, we analyze the products according to the compositional standards, food safety and metrology, and then we communicate this information back to the industry, to the authorities, to make sure that whenever necessary that there is the appropriate corrective measures taken. We are mainly funded by Milk SA, which is the overarching body with its members, the Milk Producers Organisation, and then also the Sampa, which is the Milk Processors Organisation, representing the processors. As I said in our mandate, we do a lot of monitoring, but also we communicate the information quite effectively to all the stakeholders in the industry. But I think the most important one at this stage is the render of support services. These are really unprecedented times that we're living, but I can assure you that from a dairy perspective, that we do as much as we can to also contribute to the assurance that we can provide safe dairy products on the shelf. Now, I don't think we have to further deliberate the issue of this COVID virus issue, besides just a word of encouragement. Looking at our industry and our value chain, I think most important is that through the process of integrated chain management, right through from the feed manufacturers, we look at our farmers, we look at our secondary industry, the processors and the manufacturers, and we end up with a retail, and then very much of great importance is the consumer. It's of utmost importance that in these difficult times, we don't operate in silos, but that we really through effective communication talk to each other. We all have needs, and we have to make sure that the one's output is, and the other one's input is well understood, and that we will not compromise in terms of food safety because of the current situation that we work in. I think besides the financial resources, which is a great concern, it's very important that we look at our most important asset, and that is human resource. To make sure that we don't lose momentum, that we look after our people is very key to us. Dairy by itself is a wholly nutritious product. It's part of our daily balanced meal intake, and I think we really from the DSA side want to encourage everybody to make sure that we do the right stuff, to ensure to the minimum legal requirements, and often where necessary we have to go beyond and make sure that as a concerted effort that we do what is necessary. for the sake of our industry and also the sake of our consumers. The DSA is open in all these times. We will gladly assist wherever we can. Everybody's welcome to phone us or make contact via email, and we will surely pick up to make sure that we try and assist where we can. Thank you.
I'm Peter Gordon from Sampa, the South African Meat Processors Association, who represent all the processors of meat and the value adders of meat in South Africa. Our objectives as an organization is to ensure that we provide safe, nutritious food to consumers. And one of our key roles is to provide an interface between our members and the regulators when it comes to contemplated legislation, about to be implemented legislation, and all aspects of the impact of legislation on the industry. These are very difficult times for all of us, and COVID-19 certainly has tested everybody in the industry. Having gone through the listeriosis crisis of 2018, many of our members have certainly learned some lessons in that process, but nonetheless, it's absolutely essential that through this difficult time, we are at all times ensuring that we are managing our staff welfare and ensuring that we are producing safe food. It's absolutely critical that we are making sure that our processes are robust in terms of the way our staff come to work, the way they are screened before they go into the workplace, the way we provide them with the necessary PPE based on the requirements of their particular role in the business, as well as the way we position them, locate them, and we manage the staff shifts and the staff complement in our factories. So please, just an urgent appeal for everybody to make sure that they are thoroughly interrogating every aspect of what they do at all times. It's also a critical time for the leadership and owners of businesses to step up and to do the right thing, and to make sure that all of their management and supervisory teams are at all times cognizant of the need to ensure that what processes they are using and processes they are using in the factory are managing staff wellness and safety under this COVID threat that we have all the time. The next 2 weeks are absolutely critical for the industry. We need to get South Africa back to work, and we need to make sure that we are managing this process as well as we can. And it may require at times some tough decisions where we may have to actually forego profit, turnover, and sales just to make sure that we've done the right thing. So I urge every one of you to dig deep, to have a look at your processes, to keep supporting your staff, to show real leadership through these difficult times. And if there's any information that you require or you are uncertain of, please call, please send me an email, send me a WhatsApp, or give me a phone call on my cell phone. I'm working from home as normal, and we will continue to provide a service to our members. So stay safe out there, and good luck to everybody in the next 2 weeks of the lockdown. Thank you.
It's Geoff Penny here. I'm the CEO of, or Executive Director of the South African Chamber of Baking. And in that role, I represent the industry on numerous external bodies that work within the value chain. So it's a task that extends from grain right through to the consumer and public issues. So it's pretty varied, and you know, I guess that embodies what the chamber offers its members as well, is basically the time and effort of the individuals working for the organization. So yeah, I've been with the chamber for almost 8 years, and it's part of a career in the industry of more than 30 years, which spans both wheat milling, maize milling, and baking. So it's a wonderful opportunity to serve the industry in these difficult times, and I just hope that as an individual and through our organization, we're able to add value to our members' activities. Then my message to the industry at this stage is to identify what is really important. The side issues must be left until tomorrow. The industry of today is going to look very different in the future. But what we've got to do is we've got to survive the next few months. And as a producer of staple foods, we have more than just a business responsibility to the community to be there when they need us. We've got to really ensure that the poorest of the poor have access to good staples, good nutritious foods, which includes bread. So I think if we can meet the needs of the poorest people in these difficult times, we're going to satisfy everybody. And whereas yesterday we were probably looking at business fairly normally, tomorrow or next week we may have to be doing business in an area where there's a huge amount of unrest, there are food riots and that type of thing, which we have not experienced in South Africa before. So internally, you've got to have a look at being the inspiration and the voice of reason to your own staff. You've got to understand that they are taking huge stress, and they're really probably very scared about what the future holds for them. And you can be a beacon of hope, and you can give them confidence. Externally, we've got to make sure that we are supplying the market. We've got to have the consumers' confidence to know that we're running our operations effectively and efficiently, and we're doing our best to supply them with good, nutritious bread. So there we do have some challenges, because people don't always understand the virus, and they may think that they get it from food. It may be transmitted because of the virus attaching itself to packaging or crates, etc. But they do not get sick from bread. The virus is not spread by bread at all. So the consumer must not panic and stop eating bread or meat or drinking milk or any other product for that matter. The hygiene factors within the factory have to be managed at the highest level. And if necessary, bakeries have to be closed. And hats off and to those organizations that have gone out when they found people to be positive. They've gone and shut their plants, they've cleaned up, and they've made sure that by the time they reopen, there should be no contamination. Full sanitization has taken place. So yeah, we've got a lot of responsibility in the staple food industry, and I'd like to reassure you that the Chamber of Baking is continuing business as usual. We do go into the office from time to time, but otherwise we're working remotely, and our members have been informed directly via email as to how to contact me, but I'll give it again. I'm Geoff at sacb.co.za. My cell phone number is 083 643 9383 to assist them in a time of crisis. And we know that we are faced with many challenges. It might be through roadblocks, it might be through the authorities not understanding the regulations and what is an essential service. It may be that you have blockages at the ports for importing ingredients. So we are here to support you and to use our position within the total value chain to communicate the problems and try and find solutions to any of the problems that our people might be having in these difficult times. So the Chamber of Baking, business as usual, and we may have to reschedule some of our activities for the years. This year, our AGM and general meeting, training, and the annual examinations, we may have to find new dates for those activities, but we'll be in touch, and we'll keep communicating with our members as we progress. But no, from my side, thank you for the opportunity of being able to communicate with you, and good luck, keep going, and do not deviate from your purpose of supplying people with good, nutritious bread in these difficult times.
Well, that's it from us. I would like to say a very, very big thank you to Jompie and to Geoff and to Peter. Thank you so much for your words of encouragement and inspiration. I really appreciated the messages that you've shared with industry today, and I'm sure that they're going to go far and wide, and that everyone within these particular sectors will know that they are appreciated and hopefully will be encouraged to continue to do the right thing. Don't you want to do me a favor? As soon as you get the link to this video, won't you share it with your colleagues in industry so that we can get our hashtag thank you for our food message out as far as we possibly can. That's really the purpose. We just want to say thank you, and we want people to know that we're thinking about them at this time. So for the rest of us, have a good week, and we'll see you next Monday.